For most of its history, Italy was not a single country. Instead, the Italian peninsula was divided into many kingdoms, duchies, republics, and territories controlled by foreign powers. In the early 19th century, regions such as Lombardy and Venetia were ruled by the Austrian Empire. The south was controlled by the Kingdom of the Two Sicilies, the center belonged to the Papal States under the Pope, and the northwest was dominated by the Kingdom of Sardinia. Although the people living in these lands shared language, culture, and history, they had no unified state. The long process of bringing these lands together into one nation is known as the Risorgimento, meaning rebirth. The story of Italian unification begins in the aftermath of the Napoleonic Wars. When Napoleon conquered much of Italy in the early 1800s, he reorganized the peninsula and spread ideas of nationalism, constitutional government, and modern administration. For the first time, many Italians experienced a sense of political unity. However, after Napoleon's defeat, the Congress of Vienna restored the old order. Austria regained strong influence in northern Italy, monarchies were reinstated, and the peninsula was again fragmented. Despite the restoration, nationalist ideas did not disappear. Secret societies began to form, the most famous being the Carbonari. These groups organized uprisings in the 1820s and 1830s against conservative rulers and foreign domination. Most of these revolts failed, but they helped spread the idea that Italy should become a single independent nation. One of the most important figures to emerge during this time was Giuseppe Mazzini. Mazzini was a passionate nationalist who believed that Italy should be unified as a democratic republic. In 1831, he founded an organization called Young Italy, which aimed to inspire Italians to fight for independence and unity. Through pamphlets, speeches, and secret networks, Mazzini encouraged revolution across the peninsula. Although many of his uprisings were unsuccessful, his ideas played a crucial role in shaping the nationalist movement. By the late 1840s, revolutionary energy was building across Europe. In 1848, a wave of uprisings erupted throughout the continent, and Italy was no exception. Revolutions broke out in Milan, Venice, and other cities, challenging Austrian rule. The Kingdom of Sardinia, ruled by King Victor Emmanuel II, declared war on Austria in support of Italian independence. However, the Sardinian army was defeated, and the revolutions ultimately collapsed. Despite their failure, the events of 1848 showed that the desire for unification was becoming stronger. After 1848, leadership of the unification movement gradually shifted away from revolutionary activists toward more pragmatic political leaders. The most influential of these was Count Camillo di Cavour, the Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Sardinia. Cavour believed that Italian unity could be achieved not through spontaneous revolutions, but through careful diplomacy, modernization, and strategic alliances. Under Cavour's leadership, Sardinia began to modernize its economy, strengthen its military, and present itself as the most progressive state in Italy. Cavour also understood that Sardinia could not defeat Austria alone. To gain powerful allies, he supported France and Britain during the Crimean War in the 1850s, which allowed Sardinia to gain recognition among the major European powers. Cavour then turned to diplomacy with France. In 1858, he secretly met with the French Emperor Napoleon III and negotiated an alliance against Austria. The plan was simple: provoke Austria into war, defeat it with French support, and gain control of northern Italian territories. In 1859, tensions between Sardinia and Austria escalated into the Second Italian War of Independence. Austrian forces invaded Sardinia, triggering French intervention. The combined Sardinian and French armies won several important battles, including the Battle of Magenta and the Battle of Solferino. As a result, Austria lost control of Lombardy, which was annexed by Sardinia. The victory sparked nationalist enthusiasm across the peninsula. Several central Italian states, including Tuscany, Parma, and Modena, held referendums and voted to join Sardinia. In just a short time, the territory controlled by Sardinia expanded dramatically, bringing much of northern and central Italy closer to unity. Meanwhile, events in southern Italy took a different but equally dramatic turn. In 1860, the revolutionary leader Giuseppe Garibaldi launched one of the most famous campaigns in European history, the Expedition of the Thousand. With just over 1,000 volunteer fighters, known as the Red Shirts, Garibaldi sailed from northern Italy to Sicily to overthrow the Bourbon monarchy, ruling the Kingdom of the Two Sicilies. Garibaldi's campaign quickly gained momentum, His forces defeated the Bourbon army in Sicily and then crossed to mainland Italy. As Garibaldi advanced northward, thousands of local supporters joined his cause. Within months, he captured Naples and effectively destroyed the Kingdom of the Two Sicilies. Although Garibaldi was a committed Republican and had long supported Mazzini's vision, he recognized that unity under Sardinia offered the best chance for success. In a symbolic meeting in October 1860, near the town of Teano, Garibaldi greeted Victor Emmanuel II as the king of a unified Italy and handed over control of the territories he had conquered. Following this transfer, plebiscites were held in southern Italy, and the population voted to join the expanding Italian state. On March 17, 1861, the Kingdom of Italy was officially proclaimed, with Victor Emmanuel II as its first king. For the first time in centuries, most of the Italian peninsula was united under one government. However, unification was not yet complete. Two important regions remained outside the new kingdom: Venetia and Rome. Venetia was still controlled by Austria, while Rome remained under the authority of the Pope and protected by French troops. The next step came in 1866, during the Austro-Prussian War. Italy allied itself with Prussia, hoping to gain Venetia if Austria was defeated. Although the Italian army performed poorly in several battles, Prussia's decisive victory over Austria forced the Austrians to give up Venetia, which was then annexed by Italy. Rome remained the final obstacle. For years, French troops protected the Papal States and prevented Italian forces from taking the city. But in 1870, the outbreak of the Franco-Prussian War forced France to withdraw its soldiers from Rome. Seizing the opportunity, Italian troops marched into the city and captured it after a brief conflict. In 1871, Rome was officially declared the capital of the Kingdom of Italy, marking the final step in the unification process.